Good afternoon. Today I would like to present you our case analysis dedicated to the problem of migration in the region of the United States of America and some countries of Central America.
Over the past few decades, there has been an enormous increase in the number of people flooding, going from the northern triangle of Central America, of the countries of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador.
These people are not to be involved in these migrant flows because they are trying to flee different difficulties that follow them in their countries. Moreover, they are trying to escape poverty and criminal. And for them, it essentially important to reach the territory of the United States. For it, they have to get through the territory of Mexico, and after that, they need to wait for several days or even more near the borderline with the United States, and it is extremely difficult life conditions for them. What is the main cause of that problem?
And of course, the main cause is the violence that leads to crimes. The region itself is sandwiched between two really strange regions of our world. South America, the biggest drug producer, and the United States, the biggest drug consumer. That's why the region is awash with gunmen, awash with violence, causing people to flee, causing people to fight for their lives, and live in poverty, which prompts them to join these criminal syndicates.
Definitely. All countries that are not to be involved in that problem are looking forward to find a solution for that very difficult situation. But working for the American government and taking into account the fact that the caravan of migrants has already reached the territory of the United States, we do believe that it's the American government who should tackle that problem.
And so, going to the cast of characters, we have distinguished three main characters. Is of course US government, Mexican government, and Central American migrants.
After that, we would like to draw your attention for a minute to the chronology. From the very end, when the Sunset Report of Entry was closed, that made it impossible for migrants to enter the territory of the country that they wanted to become the member of, till the very beginning of the problem, when Donald Trump made it possible for all people from all over the world to be aware of his decision to build a great wall on the borderline with Mexico. After that, we have found out different issues and divided them into internal and external.
Going from internal. So, of course, this is the great problem, the great financial loss to the US. According to statistics, it's caused about $250 billion of tax burden to the US citizen. It also threatens the civil population of the United States and also especially people living in the states that border with Mexico, such as New Mexico, California, Arizona, and Texas. Migrant problem threatens to blur the very essential essence of American culture because unlike African Americans who are also quite present in the region, people from those regions, they reject any assimilation, maintaining their own community speaking Spanish and rejecting the culture of the place. And of course, risk of government split in the United States in the form of presidents and Democrats of the Senate. They have completely different points of view on the issue.
Talking about external issues, it would be not insignificant to underline the fact that with the migrants who are seeking for a new life and better life conditions, there are a great number of criminals who are willing to enter the territory of the United States without legal documents and start their illegal activity. And of course, it has a great influence on political and moreover economic situation in the country. Moreover, there is illegal drug trafficking that has an enormous impact on the economy of the United States and Mexico also. And finally, there is a hazardous political and economic environment in the countries of Central America that we have to bear in mind when we are talking about that problem. That's one of the main causes why people decide to go somewhere where they have no relatives, no opportunities, and maybe no future, but they try to change the reality.
So we have decided to propose a few options to tackle the problem. The first option is a range of measures, going from shutting down the border or straight away constructing the Great American Wall. It would definitely provide the security to American citizens, cutting the all inflow of illegal drugs and immigrants. Also, it will give extremely big economic benefits to the US, which we can see on a tweet by Donald Trump. As we know that now everyone is losing, the citizens are losing $250 billion every year as a tax burden, and construction of the wall of the system would cost only $25 billion.
Exactly, that's it, but we shouldn't forget about disadvantages that exist. And first of all, that solution of building a wall, for example, will certainly provide a great number of unrest and riots among people who had already had an opportunity to find work material in the United States. Moreover, it will concern the interest of employers in the United States because they will lose an opportunity to have a low-wage labor. Moreover, it would have need an enormous amount of money in order to finance, in order to invest in that project, and taking into account corruption that exists in every part of our planet, that cost that is estimated today will be much more higher. Moreover, trade relationship between countries will be ruined, and we would like to pay into attention there's environmental impact.
The next idea would be organizing special migrant zones. And also, we can see that it will also allow the country to implement the screening system from the people to distinguish the migrants running for their lives from terrorists and drug dealers. It will allow the people who are suffering going in the caravan from all the northern triangle of Central America to get temporary shelter, to get some rest, and also will create additional walking places for the people who need it in the United States of America. And of course, the solution cannot exist without disadvantages. Of course, it will require a really big, enormous financial resources. It will even increase the existing burden on the taxpayers of the United States of America. It may also creating the conditions for the migrants can be a double-edged sword, as more and more people might come to find food, shelter, and help. And of course, such neighborhood again will not satisfy the people living near the U.S.-Mexican border.
And our third option concerns the participation of international organizations, because of course we are working for one of the biggest countries in the world, but we also need some financial support from international organizations. There are several advantages that you can see. First of all, we will be able, with the help of the Red Cross, for example, to use medical help. Moreover, we will be able to use experience of international organizations such as United Nations organizations, and we will have access to the experts working in this or that sphere in order to make our project more alive and more beneficial for all the people who are involved in the problem. But at the same time, there are some disadvantages, of course. And the main disadvantage, from our point of view, is that people do not believe today in the power of international organizations' decisions. So what will be our solution?
So our recommendation is combining the second and the third solution, and finding something in between of those. Something implementing both features, the best features of each one.
And we have elaborated a plan of actions and divided it on short-term and long-term goals. So first of all, we suggest that it would be really important to organize an international conference where all the players on the international area would be able to gather together in order to discuss all the possible problems that follow that very problem of migrant caravans in order to find a proper solution. After that, we have to choose a special body that would be something like a mixture of different experts from different spheres of the world, and in order to be responsible for that very project. After that, we would like to make a request to the International Monetary Fund that would be more comfortable for us to invest in our project in order to have financial support. Of course, as a country who is responsible for that caravan, as we have mentioned so far, the caravan has already reached the territory states. We are ready to invest in that project, but at the same time, we need financial support. And after that, it would be possible for us to choose a place in order to build a migrant camp where migrants won't be able to live, but have an opportunity to to spend some time in order to get support and official advice and something like that. I'm talking about long-term.
So in the long term, we should say that first we should implement the resettlement scheme and adopt the UN experience to American realities, and also expand. With that being said, expand the migration office, employing more people that qualified to deal with migrants and screen them. Really important with the enlargement of this organization, of this body, we should dedicate attention to combating corruption. And of course, the most important, the most viable decision is invest in the young generation in these countries to prevent the problem from appearing in its roots.
To cut a long story short, we would like to pay attention to the fact that migration is not just a journey, it's about cause and effect. And in order to eradicate the problem of migrant caravans, who are nowadays known to be widespread on the territory of the European Union or in that region that we have already talked about, it's very important to try to be united and to understand that that problem concerns everyone living on that planet, and we do not have to forget about people who are involved in that situation.
Thank you for your
Thank you
attention.
for your attention.